We're going to go live now to Westminster, where the Prime Minister is
Events
speaking.
are moving fast. And in moments like this, what matters most is being clear about the values and the interests that guide us, even as circumstances change. The United Kingdom has a long history. Our values were not improvised. They were built patiently over time. And while we are pragmatic in how we pursue our interests, we are resolute in defending those values when it matters. So let me begin with the United States. The UK and the US are close allies and close partners. That relationship matters profoundly, not just to our security, but to the prosperity and the stability that people here depend upon. Under President Trump, as under previous presidents, we're determined to keep that relationship strong, constructive, and focused on results. And that approach is delivering. Through sustained engagement, we've seen significant US investment into the UK economy, running into hundreds of billions of pounds, supporting growth, skills and jobs right across the country. Our cooperation on defence, nuclear capability and intelligence remains as close and effective as anywhere in the world, keeping Britain safe in an increasingly dangerous environment. We've secured good trading terms in key sectors, including cars, steel, aerospace and life sciences, protecting British jobs and manufacturers. That is why we take the approach that we do, because it delivers concrete outcomes in the national interest. I talk regularly to President Trump, and my team is in daily contact with all the key figures in his administration. These relationships matter. They deliver concrete outcomes in the national interest.
The United Kingdom is under siege, not by tanks, not by missiles, but by a tweet, a manifesto, a decree that has left Westminster reeling and London in shock. President Donald J. Trump has just declared a scorched earth economic war on Britain. The message is clear. Forget diplomacy, forget the so-called special relationship, the gloves are off. Catastrophe is coming. Before we roll the footage, just one thing. If you enjoy our work, drop a like and hit subscribe. Over 98% of you are watching without subscribing. Let's change that right now. It's free for you, but it fuels everything we do. Subscribed, perfect. Now enjoy the video. On Truth Social this morning, Trump revealed a brutal new reality. Starting February 1st, 2026, a 10% tariff will hit every British product entering American markets. Not tomorrow, not next month, now.
We've got to rebuild into the next
A message of
election.
fury and calculated vengeance. And the reason? Greenland. The catalyst of this crisis is more than ice and snow. It is strategy, power, survival. Trump has demanded the purchase of Greenland, the vast Arctic territory whose strategic position makes it central to America's security. For decades, the United States has envisioned a high-tech defence network, a shield that could render conventional warfare obsolete, a revolutionary system, a near-mythical safeguard that Trump calls the Golden Dome. Without Greenland, the system has a hole, a blind spot, and Russia and China are circling, ready to exploit it. But instead of standing shoulder to shoulder with the United States, the United Kingdom under Keir Starmer has sided with the European Union, a bureaucratic embrace, a choice that Trump sees as betrayal. A choice that has triggered economic retaliation unprecedented in modern Anglo-American relations. The 10% tariff is just the beginning. A warning shot across the bow. On June 1st, 2026, if the UK does not comply, the tariffs will jump to a soul-crushing 25%. Britain will be in the crosshairs and every household will feel the impact. The immediate fallout is catastrophic. British businesses are panicking. Automotive giants like Jaguar Land Rover are scrambling to calculate losses. Tech firms are revising export projections. The Guardian reports stock market jitters as pound sterling slides against the dollar. Bloomberg warns that this could trigger a domino effect across EU trade partners. Westminster is in chaos. Cabinet ministers are whispering in corridors. Starmer, once seen as a steady hand, is now accused of catastrophic miscalculation. Trump's manifesto is not just about economics, it is about power, prestige and survival. The Golden Dome is a multi-layered system of satellites, interceptors and advanced defence weaponry designed to protect North America. But the physics are unforgiving. To operate at maximum efficiency, specific angles and territory are required. Greenland provides them. Without it, the shield falters. Without it, Trump warns, the West is exposed to Eastern aggression. Hundreds of billions are at stake. The message is brutal. Comply or face economic obliteration. Denmark, the current custodian of Greenland, is under fire. Trump did not hold back. In a statement that went viral within hours, he mocked Danish defence capabilities, noting they have only 2 dog sleds to protect the territory. One added recently, he quipped, a paper tiger guarding a gold mine. For over 150 years, America has invested in protecting Greenland, and now Denmark stands in the way. Trump frames this as ingratitude. The US taxpayer is footing the bill for European security, while Europe obstructs efforts to secure the planet. The intrigue deepens. According to Trump, the United Kingdom, along with France, Germany and Nordic countries, have been sending clandestine missions to Greenland. Purpose unknown, deals under the radar, satellite activity, private military presence, scientific expeditions, each a puzzle piece. Trump claims these actions threaten planetary security. He accuses Starmer of playing a dangerous, potentially catastrophic game, a breach in trust so severe, he says, it justifies the strongest measures in modern history. The political fallout in London is immediate. Starmer faces intense scrutiny. BBC pundits question his strategy. Sky News panels debate the implications for global security. Social media erupts. Hashtags like Starmer fail and Greenland crisis trend for hours. Polls reveal that public confidence in Starmer's leadership is plummeting. One survey conducted by YouGov suggests that 62% of Britons believe the Prime Minister mishandled relations with Trump. Even within his own party, murmurs of discontent grow louder. Some ministers whisper about resignations. The Labour backbenchers are restless. Meanwhile, global markets shiver. The EU, caught in the middle, issues bland statements calling for diplomacy, yet behind closed doors, panic spreads. European banks analyse potential trade disruptions. France, Germany and the Netherlands hold emergency security briefings. The United Nations urges calm. Yet, as one Oxford University geopolitical analyst notes, this is not diplomacy. This is a full-scale economic and strategic confrontation. The narrative is further complicated by Starmer's previous missteps. Just months ago, the UK suspended a $26 billion tech deal with American firm, citing domestic online safety regulations. Trump saw it as a direct affront. The Greenland refusal compounds the insult. The bridge to Washington is not just burned, it has been obliterated. And as the threat of 25% tariffs looms, British industries brace for impact. From shipping to manufacturing, from automotive to aerospace, the cost will be astronomical. The tension is not just economic, it is existential. The Golden Dome represents the pinnacle of American innovation, a shield that could neutralise nuclear blackmail and render Eastern aggression impotent. But it is useless without Greenland. Trump positions himself as the only leader capable of finalising a deal. For over a century and a half, presidents have tried. All have failed. Now he claims the stakes are higher than ever. The West faces an ultimatum: support the dome or risk global vulnerability. Inside Westminster, the reality is brutal. Starmer is trapped. EU leaders are frozen by bureaucracy. The public demands action. Businesses are panicking. Analysts warn that months of delay will translate into billions lost. The UK is caught between global ambition and domestic survival, and Trump is unwavering. The tariffs are both carrot and stick. A measured pain now, total devastation later. The geopolitical chessboard expands. Russia watches quietly, reading every communique, analysing every manoeuvre. China follows suit, calculating angles, seeking weaknesses. The Arctic, long a remote strategic region, becomes the epicentre of a global confrontation. Greenland is no longer ice and tundra. It is power, technology and influence distilled into landmass. Every decision in London now echoes across Moscow and Beijing. Amid this chaos, Trump's rhetoric is as cinematic as his policies. Without Greenland, he warns, the dome has a hole, a blind spot, and the world is exposed. The West must act or perish. His words ignite fear, admiration and controversy in equal measure. The political theatre is breathtaking. The public sees the president not negotiating but dictating. And the message to Starmer is unmistakable: comply or pay the ultimate price. British businesses are already preparing. Auto manufacturers consider shifting production. Retail chains reassess supply lines. The pound continues its slide. Experts warn that without swift action, inflation will spike, energy costs will soar, and unemployment could rise dramatically. Sky News reports a predicted 1.4% contraction in GDP if the 25% tariffs are enacted. Economists describe the scenario as devastating yet preventable. Starmer's challenge is now both economic and political. The narrative is also personal. Trump frames the confrontation as a test of leadership, strength and vision. Starmer's choices, in his eyes, reveal indecision, weakness and a lack of strategic foresight. The special relationship, once the bedrock of British security, is vaporised. Allies who once smiled together across tables at White House dinners now face the cold calculus of tariffs, trade wars and Arctic defence. Social media, as always, accelerates the drama. Viral clips of Trump's Truth Social manifesto circulate. Commentators dissect each phrase. Memes depicting Starmer frozen in ice appear. TikTok users simulate Arctic dog sled defences. Public outrage, fascination and mockery collide in real time. The crisis becomes theatre, but the stakes remain terrifyingly real. The UK government scrambles for options. Emergency meetings convene at Downing Street. Ministers debate compromise, diplomacy and delay. Some suggest partial concessions to America. Others insist on EU solidarity. Starmer faces pressure from both domestic constituencies and international partners. Every misstep magnifies risk. Every delay invites catastrophe. Meanwhile, the strategic narrative intensifies. Analysts explain that the Golden Dome's design is highly complex. Layers of missile interception, satellite guidance and energy shielding require precise alignment. Greenland's location is integral. Without it, the system loses efficiency. Without efficiency, Trump claims, nuclear deterrence falters. The message is dire. Global survival hinges on Arctic real estate. Yet the stakes are not merely strategic, they are symbolic. Trump presents this as a moral struggle. The United States has protected Europe for decades, and now Europe's obstruction is framed as betrayal. Denmark, the UK and other EU states are accused of putting national pride and bureaucracy over planetary safety. The drama is staggering. The stakes are existential. Every headline reads like a thriller. Every statement carries the weight of a potential world crisis. As February 1st approaches, tension escalates. British importers brace. Citizens debate their leaders. Global markets shift with every pronouncement. The narrative reaches fever pitch when whispers emerge of Starmer considering emergency travel to Washington. Reports suggest private meetings, closed-door negotiations and back-channel diplomacy. Yet Trump maintains his position. The tariffs are fixed. The Golden Dome cannot wait. The questions multiply. Will the UK cave to Trump's ultimatum? Can Starmer salvage the economy while preserving EU alliances? Will Greenland be sold, or will the dome remain incomplete? And most importantly, what happens if the tariffs jump to 25%? Will Britain face economic collapse, or can negotiation avert disaster? The stakes are staggering. The world watches as the special relationship fractures. A century of diplomacy and alliance hangs by a thread. The Arctic, once remote, now dictates global power. Starmer's decisions over the next months will define not only his premiership, but the survival of Western strategic interests. The ultimate showdown is set. February 1st is more than a date. It is a deadline. It is a test. It is the moment when diplomacy meets reality and the world waits, breath held, for the next move.
We've got to rebuild.
Will Starmer negotiate? Will Trump escalate? Will Greenland become the centre of a new geopolitical order? Or will indecision plunge nations into economic and strategic peril? As we conclude, one thing is clear. This is history in motion. The Golden Dome, the tariffs, the Arctic chessboard, they are more than policy. They are the future of Western power. Starmer is at a crossroads. The EU is paralysed and Trump moves forward, relentless, uncompromising. The special relationship is gone. In its place stands a stark choice: align with American strategy or face economic annihilation. So we leave you with the questions that echo across London, Washington and Copenhagen. Will Starmer swallow his pride to protect Britain's economy? Can Greenland's fate be negotiated before June 1st, when tariffs escalate? And most haunting of all, are we witnessing the beginning of a new Cold War in the Arctic, one that will redefine the balance of global power forever? Stay tuned. The world is watching. And this is only the beginning. Subscribe now and do not blink, because the next revelation could change everything.